Good morning, everyone. Welcome inside the Faith Loop. It is Wednesday, February. There it is, February. The 4th, the year of our Lord, 5786, by the Hebrew calendar. Day 2,112,372 of the crisis of identity. And first, before we go any further, I want to say to my parents, happy anniversary. They just celebrated 64. I knew it was a 60-something.
Yep.
64 years of marriage. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I know that's not common much anymore, Dad.
No, not too common.
No, not really. And but it can be done. I'm just saying. So, wanted to say that. And today, we've been looking at the biblical narrative, and we're talking about leaving the institution. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean like what you're seeing a lot of today with the people who are deconstructing their faith and all that nonsense, and sitting around, and that's just a code for liberalism in the sense of what mankind thinks and all the nonsense that goes on. Should we understand who we are and what we are and why Jesus came? Absolutely. But this stuff that we're doing today, I think we are. No, I won't say that. But I don't think we recognize the bondage that we're in.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I fully agree. I don't think we even think that we're in that. I don't even think people don't even think they're in bondage, because that's the height of a deception.
Right.
Yeah, because to be totally deceived is to not know who you are, I think. I mean, I don't know how that sounds, but they don't even know.
And Dad, I think there are people that are willfully ignorant.
Oh, they are. Oh, yeah.
We just ignore.
I agree with that.
And then I understand that deception. I get it, and things of that nature. But I don't know so much sometimes as it, I understand the word deception, and we've done these things to people, and there are multiplied probably millions of people that have gone out of this world, that has sat in a pew or a folding chair, that believe that everything was righteous and right and good.
Oh, sure.
And so they're going to heaven, or well, I'm not going to purgatory, or I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And none of these things are biblical.
No.
Nothing of it.
No.
Can't pray for the dead, can we?
No. I don't think so. Paul mentions that in his writings. And he mentioned a group. He said those that baptize for the dead.
Yep.
And it's similar in thought.
The pagans did it.
Oh yeah, absolutely did. And there are groups today that take what Paul said, misunderstanding what he said, and they do that.
Yeah.
They baptize for the dead.
We pray, people, I'll light a candle for you. What for? What's that going to do? I mean, you should have taken care of business when you were here.
And those same people will tell you they don't believe that baptism is salvation, but it's just showing of a good faith and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, how come you baptize for the dead? Well, we'll baptize for that person so they're saved.
Yeah.
Well, no, wait a minute. You just going to have them show a good conscience after they're dead?
How can they do that?
How can they do that? See, so, I mean, it's messed up.
Because this is our subject. Who's going to heaven? Who's going to heaven? Because we talked about the word church last week, and today we're going to look at the institution and find out why we need to leave. And I think that's the truth of it. It's not a matter of deconstructing your faith or anything of that nature. It's a matter of coming to the knowledge of the truth. No longer being institutionalized and being bound to a system that is not anything about what is true, right, or about the kingdom of heaven. I know it's kingdom of heaven because we're going to look at this word heaven biblically. I want to read something to you first. So this is the spoiler alert. Revelation 21:4. I mean, it doesn't get much to the end except here. Right? This is the King James. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. Wait a minute. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. I thought we were just going to heaven. And there are people I've heard say, well, that's where we're going in the rapture until we get and all this. And then we're coming back to the earth and we're going to rule and reign to this one. That's not what it says. Not what it says at all. It said he saw a new one. Well, that's the one that's restored. No, it said the first earth was passed away. Gone. Passed away.
Heavens and earth will melt with a fervent heat.
And that's what that means, guys.
Dustin put in here, the Jews prayed for their dead. And
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they did.
right. He did.
Yeah, they did.
Perish or neglect. Go, pass, past, transgress. This word is to come near or aside, that is to approach, go by or away, perish or neglect. That's what this word means. So it says the first earth and the first heaven were passed away. There's not a second heaven or a third heaven. Well, what's heaven? Well, and John said he saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband, and heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, their strength. Sounds a lot like Jeremiah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And that's what he said. He sat upon the throne. Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. And that's where we'll stop right now, because for the basis. Let's look at this. That's what it says. That's where we're going.
Yep.
Isn't that did I read that incorrectly?
No. No, that's what it says.
That's Revelation. That's supposedly the end of it all. Done. Finito, benito. I'm not going to heaven. Man was made to walk the earth from the very start of it. We messed it up. The Lord is evidently correcting that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll give you something here. You can believe this, not believe it. Doesn't really matter. I can't sit here and look at the biblical narrative and say this is the reality of it. But from this one thing right here, for the first heaven and first earth have passed away. And he said, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. Well, if you guys looked out, we were talking about this before, and just the Milky Way galaxy alone, what was it, 100 billion to 400 billion, or 100 billion to 400 billion stars? In this one galaxy, 100, this is the estimate, 100 to 400 billion stars. There's not another solar system like that in this like ours in this galaxy. Jehovah just couldn't drop another quadrant over and say, let's get a new earth going here. I really believe that's what's happening. I think that's why it's taken the time and the things. See, I'm not a proponent of the young earth creationists where everything happened in 6 24-hour days. It's absurd. It just is. It's absurd. We don't know how long it took. Even when you go back to Genesis and he says, there's nothing grown because there was no man to take care of the ground. That's what it said. So it didn't just all start popping up in 24 hours. I mean, so let's step back a minute.
Well, and to your point, it said that Jehovah planted a garden in Eden. He planted it.
Seed.
Oh. Did it take time to grow? Does it take time to grow today?
Yes. See, we automatically have this idea that if Jehovah does something, he just boom, and it's there. No, I mean, he can do things. He can correct issues, and he does, and he's all power. And he's the one that made the seed, and he could probably take a tree and, I mean, I'm sure.
But he didn't do it that way. He chose not to do it that way.
But it doesn't look that way from the narrative.
No.
Right?
No. And the earth...
Because he says he watered it, and that's when everything began to grow.
The earth was old. This is something you can take it for what you will, But, we got the dinosaurs. Okay, we've got bones. We've got fossils. We've got it all. I mean, these aren't false. This isn't something that they've just made out of plaster of Paris and put up there. They exist. They found a lot of them in Montana in the United States.
Yeah.
And the T-Rexes were found relatively on top of the ground, not buried, but on top, just a little ways down. So, were the dinosaurs here during the period from Adam to Moses and to Noah? I don't think so. Not personally, I don't think so. I think they were here before, earlier, and for whatever reason, Jehovah didn't want to continue it. The earth was now without form and void, and water covered the face of the deep. Destroyed everything. If you look, and if you want to read about it, there are books that by scholars and people that study these things that will verify this. For instance, in Siberia, today it's a frozen wasteland, right? In Siberia, they talk about there's no evidence of the flood. Really. In Siberia, there's thousands of acres where there are trees under the ice, all laying in one direction like they were blown down from a force. They found mammoths there.
Yeah.
And the flesh, they fed the flesh to their dogs and it didn't hurt them. That's how well preserved
they
they
found
were.
vegetation in their stomachs.
They found vegetation in their stomachs in Siberia. Okay. It's in places in Siberia, it stays 50 below zero a lot of the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's cold.
It's cold.
It's not the place for me.
No. And so,
Can't play golf there.
you know, they talk about no evidence. Well, what evidence do we have of the dinosaurs being from Adam to Noah? Not much that I know of, but I think they were here before.
Yeah.
And I think a flood wiped them out. And then the second flood wiped most of mankind out. And then the Lord made a vow. He vowed himself. And he said, I will never again destroy the earth with water.
Yeah.
But with fire. Okay.
Well, he never said that. He didn't say that right there. He just said with water. He wouldn't do it again.
Well, I know not there, but here.
Well, yeah, here.
They'll melt with a fervent heat. Okay. Now let's look at that a minute. Water can destroy, knock down a forest, destroy people, houses, floods. We see what a flood can do just in this country. A flood is just devastating. Okay. But once the water's gone, everything comes back, doesn't it? We can rebuild, we can do this, we can do that, we can clean up. Water doesn't destroy in that sense of the word. It didn't destroy the earth. It just covered it. Okay? This time, what Brian's talking about here and what we read here, this time it isn't going to be with water. It's not going to be here. It's going to melt with a fervent heat. It's gone. And this, I think, is why the Lord said, I won't ever destroy the earth again with water.
It's what Peter said in his second letter. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with a fervent heat. The earth also and the works therein shall be burned up.
Yeah.
And that's where that is, Dad.
And fire completely destroys.
Yeah.
It destroys.
Yeah.
I mean, a flood's one thing, but you let a building get on fire and burn down, and friend, you just got a bunch of charred woods laying there. You know.
I know we did this, and this is good, but I want to come back to heaven.
Well, yeah. But that's just a little aside on that.
I know.
Because you got to talking about the earth.
I know. I did it. Yes. I mean, it's my, and I'm okay with that because these are things that we discuss this stuff a lot. And we'll talk some more about these things as we go along.
Yeah.
Because there's some other things that we're going to get into and discuss over the next few weeks. But I wanted to bring this to bear because, we're not going to heaven. This isn't about heaven. Heaven, in the biblical narrative, look, this is in Hebrew, all right? This is the way the word, there are 551 verses in the entire biblical narrative that have the word heaven in them. It's the word heaven, the English word heaven is used 583 times in the whole biblical narrative. Now, is that a lot? Yeah, probably not. Not really. 583 out of all of that. I don't know how many words are in the biblical narrative. But I've seen ones that are used much, 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 much more.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if and when and the. And
thousands of times. Yeah. Yeah. Go get a Strong's Concordance. Get the book and look in there. It's page after page after page.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't pass that one up.
Why he even did that is beyond me. I mean.
But the word heaven is Strong's reference in the Hebrew H8064, you have Shamayim and Shamech. Shamachim, I guess, would be the huckin in there, because that's the chicka that gives it the accent, and this is the second form being dual of an unused singular from an unused root, meaning to be lofty. That's what it means. The sky as a loft. The dual perhaps alluding to the visible arch in which the clouds move. Okay? And there are three words. There's only three English words that these two words are translated into. Air, astrologer, and heaven. That's it. We go back into the ancient Hebrew lexicon with Mr. Benner, and this word, its root is concretely breath or the wind, and that's what this is. There are three different pieces here that he breaks it up into across the breadth of this, and it is the breath of man is character, what makes one what he is. The name of an individual is more than the identifier, but descriptive of his character or breath. 2, there, used to identify another place. 3, sky, the place of the winds. 4, aroma, a sweet aroma that is carried on the wind or breath. This is the context in which we're dealing with this word. Well, we've always said that's where God lives. Nothing in this says, but is it where he lives? Yeah, it is. See, when you're talking about the heavens and the earth, because when we talk about the physical, the lofty, the sky above us, it will pass away. That's what it said, right? But my word, my breath, never passes away.
Nope.
And that's what we have to look at, the character of Jehovah, who he is, what he is. And that's what stays with us. The sky and the stars and the moon and this and that, that's not the point. And if you want to learn more about that, we're going to be talking about that tonight. We're going to deal with some of these things because I think it's very important to understand this character, the breath of Jehovah. His character, who he is, his nature. And when we understand that this is the idea, and this is where we get the idea, it's in biblical, what we call prophetic terms. Heavens are used as a place of strength or a stronghold, right? Mm-hmm. Power.
Yeah. The prophets used it just talking about governments. Like Nebuchadnezzar, Alexander the Great, kingdoms. That word is used there. That men, and it talks about men that sit in heavenly places. Mm-hmm, well, it's talking about men that the kings and men that sit in the thrones of power.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what the prophets were talking about. And they use that term.
And this is even when people we talk about. Well, Satan, his name is Lucifer. No, it's not.
No,
we don't even know. The term Lucifer is used about Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah. Oh, Lucifer, son of the morning.
He was talking, and if you read any commentator worth their salt, that's exactly what they'll tell you.
Yep.
Because that was what the narrative was about. It was about Babylon.
Yeah. And about him.
Because didn't the Lord snatch his mind from him?
Yeah.
How you have fallen. He was talking about Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking about the adversary. He wasn't talking about Satan. That's not what it was. And that's the only place that is used there. So again, we take these terms and we've created these narratives within the institution. For what purpose? Are you going to go to heaven? Oh, man, I'm going to heaven. You going to heaven? If we don't go to heaven, man, we're going to hell. Well, what's hell? Traffic in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could put that more towards home. No, actually 270 at 4 p.m. in our neck of the woods.
Well, you're not kidding there.
Not fun. But, I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Oh, mercy. But these words, heaven and hell, this is all people, and it creates and conjures up these images, Dad, that aren't true.
Yeah, because hell, get a concordance and go look up these words. Do it. Don't just listen to somebody say things. Go look at what the word means. It comes from Gehenna, which means the grave. David said, if I make my bed in hell, that's the grave.
Yep.
We think, hell. No. That's what he was talking about. If I make my bed in hell, in the grave, he'll be with me. That's all it means. Mm-hmm. We get this idea of what we call hell from Dante, for crying out loud. Why don't we get rid of Greek mythology in our faith and just let it alone? Get rid of it and get out of here. And let's look at the Bible for what it says. Dear
That'd be
Lord,
nice,
help
right?
us. I don't know, Dante's Inferno, purgatory.
It's no different. Just what's below the earth? Liquid hot magma.
Yeah. And not everywhere, because if that was everywhere and under the earth, then all the oil would blow up and burn.
Yeah, and it's like, how many people can there be in the belly of the earth? There's been a lot of folks, man. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, the belly of the earth is just in the ground.
Exactly, Dad.
It's the grave.
Exactly. It's just all right. Let's go to the letters of what we call the New Testament. This is words Jesus is using. It's pretty much the same thing. Pretty common usage of the same word. Strong's reference is 3772. And Uranos. You guys know what that means, right? The sky.
Mm-hmm.
By extension, heaven.
Right.
It comes from, and where we get our term, it comes from the root oros, which is an obsolete word, rise or rear, perhaps akin to, hang on, I got to go right over here. Oh, well, I'll come back. You compare it to a mountain as lifting itself above the plain, hill, mount. This is other stuff you can translate it. Oros. Oranos. That's what this is. The sky, or elevation, which is what we read in earlier. It's something that's lofty. It's not different, because when I don't think people understand when the Greek words were used, there was a baseline by which people understood how you're thinking using Koine Greek. Speaking of Hebrew culture,
mm-hmm.
It had happened in about 200 BC. You had the Septuagint, which is the Hebrew, or which is the Tanakh. Well, actually, it was just the Torah to start with. It was only the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, that were translated. That was it. And it was translated from Hebrew to Greek. Well, much of the words that we see used in these what we call New Testament letters match up to what was used to translate the Septuagint. Mm-hmm. This is how common this was. They knew it. They had it. Paul spoke Greek.
Yeah, he did.
I know. I mean, did he speak Hebrew probably more than anything? Sure.
Sure he did.
But Paul was part of the Sanhedrin. He was a Pharisee. He was from Tarsus, which is up, was it Syria, or even up into a little further into Turkey, modern day
somewhere
Turkey.
up in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't-
So that was in the Roman world.
Oh, yeah.
He was part of that,
He was born a Roman citizen.
right?
Yeah, that's what he said himself.
Yes. So that was part of the things. We kind of I don't think we understand how language and these things people were dealing with it back then. They just kind of run around saying whatever they say. No. They had to have some form of communicative understanding.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And this is what you see, and this is why these two words are so closely
Related.
yeah, from Greek to Hebrew. It just means lofty. The expanse above the sky or above the earth.
That's all.
And if you read the Genesis narrative, that's what it says. And he separated the firmament, and that was the heavens. And that's all it means. We've turned this into a place where God lives. No. Because of the word character and the understanding of the wind, the breath, we understand those things, but that's not the sky or the heavens.
No.
We are made for the earth. Where Jehovah
Yes, we
makes
were.
his abode, we don't know.
We don't know.
We really don't, Pop.
We don't.
We just know we're here.
Yeah. But I believe it's a place
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
because I
do too.
believe he
Is a physical being.
is a physical being of some kind. Maybe not physical just like we are, but he's some kind of a physical being. He
Well,
has a
he's
form, a shape, a visage. Abraham met him,
Well, evidently we look like him.
evidently.
Just saying.
Abraham met him. Mm-hmm. That third person that came walking up that day to Abraham when he was sitting in the door of his tent, he called him Lord. The other two, he didn't. But he called that one Lord, which in Hebrew is the Tetragrammaton. What we say Jehovah, Yahweh. Mm-hmm. We're not sure, exactly sure, because the Jews took the letters out because they were afraid to pronounce the name. And so here, why did Abraham do that? And well, he prayed to the Lord. Yeah, he was standing there talking to him. Mm-hmm. He prayed something to him. To pray, you can pray before a king. You can pray before a court of law. You can pray to a judge.
I can pray he will tell me about this story that'll help me get something done better.
In fact, we used to use that term, I pray you, tell me.
Yes.
I pray you tell me this.
Yes.
We used to use that term all the time. And we think that, it's on your knees somewhere, and that's one way to pray. You can do that. That's not the point. But Abraham was standing there talking to him, and they were standing there looking at Sodom in the valley of the plain.
Yeah, Papa.
And Jehovah said to him, I sent these messengers down there because I want to know if what's come up before me is true. Now he's standing there talking to Abraham. I know we just can't fathom that. Oh my, I've had people, oh my, Bob, yeah. I don't care. That's what it says. Either the Bible means what it says or it doesn't. Why don't we just, if we're not going to believe what it says, throw it away. Throw it away. Let's go just, have a big party and I've never understood it.
I know, right?
I've never understood it.
We have any more comments?
Oh, Dustin, he put on there so fire could complete nuclear destruction.
Huh?
Good cause for a new earth. It could.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of modern commentators and ministers that will say that. However, I don't really believe that personally. I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Lord's going to need
That's a good thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to need a nuclear bomb.
No, he didn't with Sodom and Gomorrah.
No, he didn't. He didn't have any problem.
Although it was, they're similar pattern. I mean, he knows, but
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Could it be? Yeah, it could be, but it would really take
I don't think mankind is going to destroy it in that
No,
respect.
I don't think so. I think he said.
Yeah.
And when it says pass away, I mean pass away.
Yeah.
I mean it's gone.
And we've talked about this. We say rapture and this, and I believe the adversary is already in the earth and the gathering of. I don't think it's a particular place. I think it's the whole scope of it. I think this is why I think the Valley of Megiddo and all of these places are mentioned. Right now, I think it's interesting if you're watching world politics. I do because it's curious to me about what's going on and how mankind's positioning himself. Because we talk about the end, the heavens and the earth. I'm not going to heaven. I'm waiting on the Lord to come back to take me to the new heaven and the new earth, where the tabernacle of Jehovah, his visage, his being, will dwell with men. That's what I'm looking for. That's what it says.
So it says.
That's sign me up. We look at what's going on in the Middle East, this new board of peace.
I haven't heard about that one.
Just did it at Davos.
Oh, they did it at Davos. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Trump did it himself. The UN is starting to wane some, and he started this new. It's in place. People have already signed up. These countries have already come on board. Saudi Arabia, a lot of Middle Eastern countries, and different few here and there coming on this board of peace.
When they shall cry what?
Peace and security.
Yeah, safety. We're safe.
Sudden destruction will come upon them like travail upon a woman. I think we are in those moments where we're seeing the world stand up, and just, this isn't about what we think. These people are standing up. They're reinventing man. This is what was happening in Babel. We're making our own name for ourselves. This is what Nebuchadnezzar had started to do.
Yep.
This is what was happening before the flood. It'll be as in the days of Noah, where men and women will be drinking, marrying, and given in marriage. They're going about their business. They're setting them sights. And all of it was violence. Look around. And the peace, security, what we're trying to do, and the bringing man in. And we're sitting around talking about, are we going to heaven?
I know.
We don't put anything into any kind of realistic thought process. Mankind was made for the earth. When Jehovah created mankind, and we're going to talk about this tonight. So I want you guys to, I did this kind of on purpose, because if you're back tonight, we're going to talk about Genesis 2 a little bit, and we're going to talk about these types of things, because I think it's so important for us to understand this so that we know how to talk to people. What are you repenting of? I want to be born from above. It has nothing to do with going to heaven or hell. That's fantasy and fairy tale. That's made up by the institution. It's a matter of who you are as a person, so that you're known and so that you escape death.
Yep.
That's the good news.
That's the good news. Absolutely.
That's the good news. We need to talk more of that.
Yep.
Is it the kingdom of heaven? Is it the kingdom of character? I mean, the guys in the movie, Ridley Scott's movie, Kingdom of Heaven, they got it more right. You know, that priest sitting there, he says, he said, I've seen many people do things in the name of religion, but I think, it's mostly here and here. It's talking about your conscience. What do you do? Who are you? And even in that, we don't know because we're following these institutions rather than following the one who sits at the right hand of the Father.
Right.
And I will finish it up today because I was talking to Dad. I want you to tell. He's told this joke before, and this is pretty much but this is the mindset of people, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the story goes that there was this preacher. He's preaching, and he brand new. It was his first sermon in his new church, and it was a hot summer day, and the windows were open on both sides, as they had in the old days. The small buildings had windows on the sides, and there was kind of a breeze blowing. Well, he put his notes on the platform. Well, wind come along and blew his notes away. So he didn't know what he was going to do. So he thought in his mind, I'm going to start out and maybe it'll come back to me, because he knew what he was going to talk about, but he didn't have his notes. So he backed up and he ran toward in those days and I think they still doing something, they call them a chancellery rail. And it's got a rail in front of the pulpit and a curtain that goes across, comes up so far. And he ran toward that and he says, how many want to go to heaven? Everybody raised a hand, except one gentleman sitting on the front row. He didn't raise his hand. Pastor said, well, I didn't remember nothing, so I'm going to try this one more time. Maybe something will come to me. But he noticed that man sitting there. And he said, not only that, he said, I got to get him to raise his hand. I mean, what's the matter with him? He's been in this congregation a long time. So he backed up and went at it one more time. How many want to go to heaven? And everybody raised a hand but him. He just sat there. Pastor said, I can't have this. I can't have this. This guy, I got to get him to do this. So he said one more time, third time's the one. So he backed up and he ran toward that rail and he said, how many want to go to heaven when you die? He added to die on that one. Everybody raised their hand and the old gentleman raised his hand. Well, that got the pastor's attention. So he looked at him and he said, hey, brother. He said, how come the first two times I said that you didn't raise your hand? He said, well, that's easy, Pastor. He said, the third time you said, when you die. He said that first two times I thought you was trying to get up a load now.
That's the way we think, man.
That's right.
We don't want to go now.
No.
We don't want to go see the Lord now.
No.
I got too many things to do. You know what? It's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I know it's an anecdote to the nature of the mindsets of what we call believers.
Well, humor actually mirrors life. It does. If you listen to a really good comedian, I mean a good one, that can just, without vulgarity, without everything, can just make you laugh. What's he talking about? Or what's she talking about? Just normal stuff. Everyday living. But we put it, and then we laugh because we say, yeah, that was really dumb.
That's true.
Yeah. So it mirrors those kind of things. There's another story where brother gets up in a congregation and he's a woman. She got up and she said, last night I had a vision. Pastor said, well, what was your vision? She said, I saw a heifer. She was the country people. Said, I saw a heifer lifted high up in the elements. And life, man, I don't know what that means. Pastor said, well, does anybody in the congregation have a thought? Man raised his hand, stood up, and he said, well, Pastor, he said, the only thing I can think of is the price of beef's going sky high. And that's about how simple and dumb some of it gets.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yes.
This isn't a fairy tale.
No.
It's not a story. It's not a Greek myth. This is reality. This is true.
It's life and death.
It's life and death. It's whether you get out of this world alive or not.
Yeah.
I said that last Sunday. How many want to get out of the world alive? And that's exactly what it is. My wife, she put her, Moses talked to Jehovah. Yes, he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Personally.
On the mountain.
Saw him, but in his glory. And he told Moses, even Abraham didn't see me like this. Well, now, wait a minute.
Yep.
Wait a minute. What do you mean Abraham didn't see me? See me like this. See me. Not talk to me, not pray to me, standing up in heaven somewhere. See me. He saw him. Abraham saw him. Moses saw his backside. He said, you can't see my face, but I'll show you my backside. And he passed by, and Moses saw him. But he was in his glory there. And he said, I didn't even show myself to Abraham like this.
Because it says right here, Exodus 6. And I appeared. It says appeared, that is to see.
Yeah.
Literally or figuratively. He said, I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by what we would say in Hebrew, El Shaddai, or God Almighty. But by my name, Jehovah, was I not known to them.
He didn't tell them.
And I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, to the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they were strangers, and I have also heard the groanings of the children, he goes on to say. And this is what he was saying to Moses. And he appeared to Moses as, I didn't appear to Abraham and that goes to your point, Dad. It says it right there. This is Jehovah talking to Moses.
Yeah.
It's not about going to heaven, folks. It's not about going to hell. It's about life or death. Yep. Choose you this day whom you will serve, because I've set before you, Jehovah said, to the people of Israel, and it's the same to us. It's the same thing. Life and blessing, death and the curse. Choose life that your days may be long in heaven.
On the earth.
In the earth. That's what we were created to be. Hope this helps you. Hope that it makes you think. Right?
Yeah. Thanks, Dustin, for your anniversary wish there.
Ah, very nice.
He sent me.
And the comments, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. And my wife, appreciate her comments.
It's good. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Remember tonight, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yep.
Right here on the Faith Loop. And we will see you then. Until then, everybody have a great day in the Lord. Always remember to give love.
And give life.
And give Jesus.